A lion is staring at a herd of wildebeest. It is calculating. It is looking for the weakest one. And then it sees her, a pregnant female, slower than the rest, heavier, struggling to keep up. Every rule of predation says she should be the target. She is the obvious choice. She is the easy kill. But the lion walks away. You just watched that and thought, wait, that makes no sense. You are right. It makes absolutely no sense. A predator that passes up an easy meal is supposed to be impossible. Survival of the fittest has one rule. Take the weak one. And a pregnant animal is the definition of weak. Slower movement, compromised reflexes, divided attention. On paper, she is the perfect target. But something stops the predator almost every time. And when scientists went out to study why, what they found was not just surprising, it was one of the strangest, most perfectly engineered systems in all of nature. Stay till the end, because the last part reveals something about your own instincts that you have never been told. Here is where it starts. You are on the African savanna. It is early morning. A lion pride has been hunting for 2 days without success. They are hungry. They are watching a group of zebra. And in that group, there is a heavily pregnant mare. She is moving slowly. She is breathing harder. She is visibly struggling. Every lioness in that pride can see it. And yet, the hunt that follows targets a young adult male at the edge of the group, not her. Why? The first answer most people reach for is pity. We assume predators must feel something, some instinct of mercy, but that is almost certainly wrong. Lions do not feel mercy. A hungry predator does not spare prey out of compassion. So what is actually happening? The real answer starts with mathematics, and it begins with something called the cost-benefit calculation of violence. Every predator on Earth, without exception, runs a risk equation before every single hunt. Not consciously, but in its nervous system, constantly. The question is simple. How much energy will this kill cost me versus how much energy will I get back? A wounded predator is a dead predator. A broken leg from a kick, a horn through the stomach. A single bad injury ends everything. So predators do not just go after the weakest animal. They go after the animal with the lowest risk of injury combined with the highest return. And here is where pregnant animals break the equation. A heavily pregnant female is not just slow. She is also terrified. And a terrified mother is one of the most dangerous things in nature. This is not a theory. This is documented again and again in field research. A pregnant zebra who is cornered does not surrender. She explodes. She kicks with a force that can shatter bone. She spins, bites, and drives herself into the predator with everything she has, because her brain is flooded with something your brain also releases in moments of extreme threat. Adrenaline combined with what researchers call maternal defense hormones, a cocktail that essentially removes the fear of death. She is not trying to survive. She is trying to protect what is inside her, and predators learn this fast. Not through thought, through pain. A young lion that once tried to take down a pregnant buffalo remembers the impact for the rest of its life. One attempt, one lesson, and the lesson is, do not repeat this. So the first layer is physical risk. But there is a second layer, and it is stranger, group defense. When a pregnant animal is threatened, the herd does not run. It reorganizes. Elephant herds do this with mathematical precision. The pregnant female moves to the center. The largest females form a ring. The ring faces outward, and suddenly what was one slow, vulnerable target has become a wall of 3,000-kilogram animals. No predator on Earth breaks that ring. Elephants are not the only species. Wildebeest, bison, musk oxen, all of them shift formation when a pregnant or vulnerable member is targeted. The interesting question is, why do the others help? This is where evolutionary biology gives us something remarkable. It is not kindness. It is not friendship. It is pure genetic self-interest, just playing out across the whole group. In herding animals, the individuals around you are often related. Cousins, siblings, parents. Protecting a pregnant female in your herd means protecting the offspring of your own genetic line. Your genes survive if her genes survive. So the herd defends her not out of love, but because evolution has wired them to see her survival as their own survival. This is a concept biologists call inclusive fitness. and it reshapes how we understand almost everything about animal social behavior. But here is what makes this truly strange. Some predators appear to have evolved a response to this pattern. They do not try to break the formation. They wait. Wolves and African wild dogs have been filmed circling pregnant prey for hours, not attacking, just circling, because experience has taught them that attacking a defended pregnant female costs more than it returns. So they wait for a different opportunity. They wait for the moment the group separates, or for an animal that is old, or sick, or injured, and they take that one instead. Which raises a question that is almost philosophical. If predators consistently avoid pregnant females, what does that do to a prey population over time? Think about this carefully. If a lion consistently targets the old and the sick and leaves the pregnant females alone, it is essentially acting as a filter. It removes the animals that are past their reproductive peak. It leaves the breeding animals intact. The prey population not only survives, it maintains its reproductive capacity. Some ecologists argue this creates a long-term balance, not by design, not because the lion cares, but because the lions that hunted recklessly, that killed pregnant females and exhausted the prey population, eventually starved. The lions that learned restraint survived, and passed that learned behavior on. This idea, that predator behavior has been shaped over time to preserve breeding prey, is one of the most contested and fascinating questions in modern ecology. Some researchers reject it entirely. Others point to specific ecosystems where predator-prey populations have stayed stable for thousands of years as evidence. The debate is not settled, but the data on individual hunts is clear. Pregnant animals are targeted less frequently than their vulnerability would predict. There is one more layer, and this one will make you stop. Because this is where it gets personal. You are not a zebra, you are not a wildebeest, but you are also a mammal who evolved in exactly this environment, and your brain carries every instinct that environment built into you. The discomfort you feel watching a predator target a pregnant animal, that is not modern sentimentality. That is ancient programming. Human societies across every culture and every era have built protective rules around pregnant women. Different gods, different languages, different continents. Same rule. Do not harm the pregnant one. Researchers who study cross-cultural behavioral universals point to this as one of the clearest examples of evolved moral instinct. You did not learn it. You were born with the hardware for it. And the reason is the same reason the herd reorganizes around the pregnant female. Protecting a pregnant member of your group protects the genetic future of the group itself. Your ancestors who felt that protective instinct had more surviving descendants. Which means you are here right now specifically because your ancestors protected their pregnant females. The instinct worked, and here is the final strange truth. You live in a world where there are no lions outside your door. The predators are gone. The savanna is gone, but the wiring is not gone. When you feel a pull of protectiveness towards something vulnerable, a pregnant woman on a crowded street, a child stumbling, an animal in distress, that is not just kindness. That is 300 million years of survival logic. Running through you, right now, in this moment. The lion walks away from the pregnant zebra because nature spent millions of years making sure it would. And you feel what you feel right now for exactly the same reason. You are not separate from this system. You are part of it. You always were.